2023 elections are fast approaching and Nigerians are hoping for a change. We might be different things for different people, as what the populace has elected in the past years have not exactly been palatable. What we elected and what were promised during the election are different from what were actually served in office when they were finally elected. It's a case of what was ordered versus what was delivered. Anyway, I welcome you guys to another interesting episode of Public Announcements. My name is Gift David, and today we'll be having this conversation about electoral processes, election rigging in Nigeria. And as you know on the show, I always come with a guest who will shed more light and also give us more insight on this topic. But that is going to happen right after this break. I'll be right back.
Ara, it's Made Kuti, and I just want to inform all of you and to say,
vote, not fight. Election will be war.
Come out and vote. It's your right, it's your responsibility.
Because that's the single most important thing you can do to affect the outcomes.
Don't stay at home. Make sure you come out and make sure you vote.
This time, we need to do it and do it right.
It is your civic responsibility to choose your leaders.
vote.
Vote, not fight.
Because election will be war.
Election rigging has always been a part of Nigeria's election process. The 1965 elections rigging by Chief Samuel Akintola's Nigerian National Democratic Party (NNDP). The party in power then is where we can trace it from. The military coup erupted the election violence between Nigerian National Democratic Party and the Action Group (AG) supporters, which led to the military striking in 1966. The people rejected Akintola's government at the polls and voted massively for Action Group. The opposition party, the Akintola government, interfered with the election result. AG candidates who held certificates that were voted in their constituencies heard their names mentioned as defeated candidates through government news media outlet. We also witnessed this electoral manipulation during the 1983 elections, where ruling party, the National Party of Nigeria (NPM), under the leadership of Shehu Shagari, did all sorts of electoral malpractices. The voting process, voters' registration, and votes cast were distorted. The National Party of Nigeria won the election, negating all forms of democratic norms. Again, the democratic process was aborted by military intervention. The populace is always at the receiving end when elections are rigged. It has resulted to voters' apathy as the electorate no longer trust the process. They believe their vote doesn't count. It also shows to international community that Nigeria's political instability isn't going away anytime soon.
Welcome back to Public Announcements. My name is Gift David. For those of you who just joined in, today on the show, we will be talking about electoral processes and election rigging in Nigeria. And as you know, I always have a guest on the show. And today is no different because I have with me a producer, a filmmaker, a comedian, and an entrepreneur when it comes to the creative industry and so many businesses like that. His name is Ayo Makun, that you and I know as AY the comedian. Welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Gift.
It's so good to have you today on the show.
It's good to be here as well.
You're looking pretty chill. You don't look like some of the things affecting us in Nigeria is getting to your end.
That's what you think. Maybe it is what is affecting me that is keeping me in this present situation. Maybe for some other people it puts them up there, but then for me, it's affected. Everybody's affected.
Right.
As a matter of fact, we're all tired.
We're all tired. Oh, trust me, we are tired. Because at this point, we are all clamoring for something different than what we've been receiving over the years. Now, so there's this question I always ask all my guests to check how they're doing. Okay. How are you doing in this present situation of the country?
We'll copy. We're still very much alive and kicking.
Right.
And all hopes have been kept alive. So for now, I say I'm just okay.
Okay, just okay is fine, because a lot of people out there are not even okay right now, but that's fine. So we're talking about electoral processes and election rigging. So in Nigeria over the years, there's been a case of people not exactly knowing how elections are. They just know we go out there, we vote, and tomorrow they tell us this is our president, right? Some people don't involve themselves in the process of the election. All they just know is to go out and vote, and that's it. And then we blame it on rigging and all that. So do you think this not being involved in the electoral process is actually what is making a lot of us look like, or a lot of people out there look ignorant when arguing about election in Nigeria?
You see, we have always maintained, that nonchalant attitude when it comes to getting involved, with the process itself. And those who understand it, usually what they do is take advantage of the entire populace and do what they have to do. It's like having a template. They know what to say, what to do, and how to do it in a way that it will look like we are supposed to understand. And it's not something that you and I could have stopped as such when they were doing it.
Okay.
Now, Nigerians are beginning to gain that, consciousness. We are provoked now. Everybody is waking up to believing that, we have to be a part of this process this time. We need to have an understanding of, what should be done and how we should go about it. And the only indication you can get from all of that is the registration process at the moment. You see a lot of youths are coming out, pretty good number, running to almost 70%, if not more, getting involved in the process right now. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed, and at the same time monitoring some of these very wicked people that has condemned, that has damaged everything that we're experiencing within the system and in Nigeria at the moment.
So how important is it, being involved in the electoral process? So from registration to getting your PVC to, going to vote, and also monitoring these votes, because on TV we see them, they count this one, this is this number, that is that number. And how important do you think being involved in all of this process is to the youth and to the nation in general?
As youth is to be physically present and be a part of the process from the beginning to the end. Now, we know what they do. When it's getting towards the end of the process, then they will just implement their plan B to rig.
Right.
And then the bad guys will come and everybody will run away. I think this is the time where we really need to stand up if we want a better Nigeria. If they are coming in numbers, they will come there and meet us in numbers. And together we will fight it out to the point where we will protect our votes and make sure that it counts.
Right. I like what you said, and I was able to get something out of it. So when the youths are involved in this electoral process, it's easy for them to be able to curb the rigging of the election, and anybody coming to snatch boxes, we can see it. If it's happening, we know what is happening. So you can't come and tell us tomorrow that this is what it is, whereas this is what we see. So it is also very important that we're all involved in the electoral process. So you spoke about rigging of the election, right? And this is something we've suffered over the years in Nigeria. Like almost every other election, there's always a story of being rigged. For those who are sure, those who don't even know, they will just come with the story. Now, in what ways do you think we've been affected? How has this election rigging affected us as a nation?
It has affected us because one, when you make a choice, from experience, from knowing a particular candidate, and then you wake up and your choice is not the one that has been elected. So rather than have an election, we're having a selection. So now when that happens, trust me, every other thing would not work accordingly. And this is not to write off, all the candidates that has, come out, or the ones that eventually won. But what I can say is that the system is bad, is polluted. The system is, have people who go there for selfish interest, and they are so self-centered to the point whereby they need to take care of themselves and the people who put them there. Some of them are just figureheads.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. So now let's go to, let's focus on the youth and partaking in the electoral process. Over time, the youths have been very laid back when it comes to election. Of course, it's our parents choose the leader who will just move and all of that. But now, the youths are more involved. So do you think the NSAS protest was a wake-up call for a lot of these youth?
Let me tell you, NSAS was more than a wake-up call. It was long overdue. And the youth, they were just waiting for that perfect opportunity to express themselves. So it wasn't about, EndSARS wasn't about police brutality. I mean, we were out there. And the minute we stepped out, it was more of enough is enough. It was more of, okay, hear our cry as Nigerians. It was more of the hunger that has engulfed the entire nation. It was more of everything put together. It was more of the things that we would enjoy freely before now that we're no longer enjoying. So the youths are fully awake now. And that's why we are encouraging them, everyone to be a part of the process this time for us to get the results that we require.
Okay, so over the years, you think elections have been free and fair. And do you think this 2023 election will be free and fair?
Well, the signs we are getting, I think it's going to be free and fair. Now, this is one election that you're not going to wake up and just hear that somebody is grabbing all the states, on a clean state. It's not going to happen with these elections. Okay. This election is going to be like a football game where you can weigh the powers of, the different teams that, there are some teams when they play together, you don't know you can't even predict what's going to happen. You just be glued to your TV set for 90 minutes and you just pray for the best team to win. So right now, we are praying for the best candidates to win. From presidency level, we're praying state level, yes, but we're not so passionate about states should deal with themselves now. We just want the Olorioko of them all, to be well defined. And this election is looking like it. I see different parties, I see their rallies, I see what they do, I hear the manifestos, I see the acceptance, that they enjoy in different places. So it's 50-50. And then the present system understands that we need to get it right, because if anything goes wrong, there will be something that Nigerians and those in power, they won't even find in Nigeria to hand over power to, because I think the youth will be ready to turn it all around.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And now that we know everybody has to be involved in every bit of this election, from the electoral processes, of course, to the day of the election, and even after the election, we almost put in the works to see that our nation, Nigeria, becomes the best. Right now, we've heard from AOI. Let's go into the streets and see what people are saying about the electoral processes and election rigging in Nigeria. We'll be right back.
In the beginning, I would say selfishness on the part of I want to be the one in charge, and you have to go all out to make sure that I be the one to come in and not the people's choice coming in. So if it is the people's choice that's coming in, then there's no need to rig it if you actually want the people to vote in the person they want to be in. But if you don't have confidence in yourself, that is why you actually want to go out and rig the election and not let the people have a voice.
There's rumor everywhere. Yeah, they want to instill fear in us that we should not vote, but I'm not moved by that. I've grown past that level, so I'm going to vote. So, and I have my voter's card. I'm going to vote.
We the youth are the issue, sir. We are the problem. Because if all of us want to vote for the right person, we know the right person. But the small change that we see from our politics costs everything.
Maybe snatching of ballot boxes, and maybe the touts are taking charge of the election, the polling unit. So people might think twice, and I believe some people might not go out to vote during this election. No matter how much they want to see change, they might not go out.
It's high time we grow past the idea that our vote doesn't count. It can't. So the fear that no, I just want to stay at home. I just wish that people can actually grow up from that kind of mentality and go out there, make their vote count, because that's the only right you have. Like the only thing that they cannot deny you. Just go out there and make your vote count. So if it doesn't work the way I want, that means there are a lot of people out there sitting down at home and they are not bold enough to step out. So
The cost of rigging an election is they will manipulate it. We know the winner though.
Ara, it's Made Kuti, and I just want to inform all of you and to say,
Vote, not fight. Election no be war.
Come out and vote. It's your right, it's your responsibility.
Because that's the single most important thing you can do to affect the outcomes.
Don't stay at home. Make sure you come out and make sure you vote.
This time, we need to do it and do it right.
It is your civic responsibility to choose your leaders.
Vote, not fight.
Because election no be war.
All right, guys, welcome back to Public Announcements. My name is Gift David, and I have my guest in the studio with me, AY Ayomaku, right here in the studio, and we're discussing about the electoral processes and election rigging in Nigeria. And we just came back from the streets where different people have shared different opinion about today's topic. What are you saying about this? You want to join the conversation? Go right there on Instagram and follow us at official HIPTV and drop your comments on today's topic on Public Announcements. So now back to you, and finally, the elections are here. Of course, everybody have aspirations and desires of what they want the nation to be eventually. So what do you want from Nigeria? What do you want to see Nigeria become in the nearest future after the election?
Did you know that Nigeria once worked? Did you know that due process in line with everything worked in this country? And if you look around, as at the time Nigeria was working, you will see structures in place. Now, go around Nigeria, those structures that were in place back in the day, some of them are being packed up. Everything has gone down the drain and no one cares. I am looking forward to a Nigeria that would work again in terms of infrastructure, in terms of the general economic growth, in terms of everything, in terms of seeing the common man wake up and say, yes, to put food on the table for my family shouldn't be a problem. Nigeria is so bad now that people even come out, they can't even hide their feelings anymore. They beg to survive. They come online and they ask you, can you just give me 5K? Can you give me 2K? Now they're saying to you, but why I'm saying Nigeria once worked, it was a taboo for any family member to just go out there and be begging in public with your name, family name showing to the rest of the world, and you don't care. That's to tell you how bad it is presently. So we're looking forward to a Nigeria that will work in terms of, it starts from the number one man. And of course, it starts from all of us collectively. Leadership starts from, if you have you're leading a sector in HIPTV, for example, and you're doing your job very well, that translates into what will make your system work. And when your system is working within another existing system, what that means is that if we have collective system that works put together, it means that we are ready for Nigeria as a nation to work. So I'm just looking forward to, and I think this 2023 will define something new. This 2023 is going to define freshness. And those who are against it, it's either they will go with it or just leave Nigeria for us, because Nigeria must work from 2023. The key word in this interview is Nigeria must work.
Nigeria must work.
Yes.
Definitely, it has to work. So what advice do you have for the viewers at home, those out there, for the forthcoming election, getting their PVCs, and of course...
This is where I am going to sit up and look at my people eyeball to eyeball. I can only sit here and talk because my name is Ewa. And sometimes some of you sit there, you look at the people on this other side, believing that God has arranged your life. Is a lie. Dangote see they find money, the Gates they find money. Everybody wants to survive. I mean, there are levels to all of it put together. So this is my advice. We need to make Nigeria work collectively, and the only way you can do it is to grab that PVC, go out there and cast your vote. Very important. Do not maintain any form of lackadaisical attitude where we believe that they will still rig it. Play your part for this particular one. Don't just assume. Make an effort. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's what I'm advising that we should all do to have a better Nigeria.
It will work. Amen. That is our prayers. The Nigeria will work. Thank you so much, AY, for coming on the show. I mean, you shared so much with us today, and I'm sure the viewers at home have learned one or two things about on today's topic rather. Now, the forthcoming election is very critical in our political history, and we cannot afford to get it wrong this time. The government, the populace must all ensure that we elect the right leader to take Nigeria to the best place that you and I can enjoy the economy. The day for election is not a public holiday for you to sit at home and be watching TV or enjoying with the family. Go out there and vote. And if you've not gotten your PVC, you still have time to go out and get your PVC and vote for the right leaders. This is where I get to wrap it up today on public announcement. Thank you so much, AY, for coming on the show.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much.
Well
and
we'll
see you guys next time on public announcement. My name is Gift David. Have a beautiful day.